Hey everybody, welcome. We're going to be going over some of the questions that I found were really interesting and things I've been asked a lot from this week. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you guys have questions, put them in the comments, and if I don't answer them there, I'll grab them and stick them in the next week's Q&A. So to start today, Becky asked, did I use a certain book or guide to start the diet? The answer is no. I watched my brother and brother-in-law do well. My brother didn't really need to lose any weight. My brother-in-law lost, I think, 40 pounds over a few months. That got me interested. Then I watched some Michaela Peterson videos, and that really is what pushed me into this. I actually tried carnivore for a couple weeks and fell off. And then a few weeks, a month or two later is when I went to the emergency room thinking I was going to die. And that's really what started me into this. When we came back from the emergency room, I went from eating cake one day to carnivore the next. So long answer, that was long answer. Short answer, no. I do watch Dr. Barry. He has some really good medical advice and the reason why it's so important. So that is where I would suggest going, and I just use meat. Eat meat, no vegetables, no sugars, no carbs, and that's what I follow. Heather asked, exercise, what am I doing? I am walking the doggos every day. Right Brain and I have been doing some yoga, not very well, and we are starting to incorporate doing some weightlifting a few times a week. And overall, just moving more, trying to do household chores and just be on my feet, move more, and that's all I'm doing right now. Chris asked, what am I doing about fat and iodine? And am I measuring how many grams of protein and fat I eat daily? As far as fat, animal fat, butter, bacon grease, those are the fats I eat. I add butter to a lot of things, especially if it's a leaner meat. Iodine, I do use iodized salt, which is not the best option. Really, I should be eating high quality salmon and things like that to get the iodine from. And I believe in the Redmond's salt, there is trace iodine. Right Brain and I just bought salt a while ago, so we're just trying to use what we have. I will switch to Redmond's eventually. So that's my suggestion for that. As far as protein and fat measurements, I don't measure anything I eat. I just kind of look at it, eyeball it, call it good. Especially if it's chicken, I do tend to add a lot of butter to it. I eat always with the skin on. And other than that, I just eat until I'm satiated. And I don't eat when I'm not hungry. That's literally all I do. Wendy asked, did I have leg cramps when I started? Yes. So did Scott. He actually woke me up in the middle of the night one night making these weird noises. And I was just like, not sure what was going on. And I just kind of laid there for a few minutes, and then finally I asked him, and he said he was having a leg cramp. Not what I thought it was. But to resolve them, we just started putting more salt on our stuff. We were not salting stuff enough. More water, more salt. They went away. Lulu Love asked if I had any hints about helping with the constipation. Yes. I've had constipation just a couple times since doing this. My problem was I wasn't getting enough water. I mean, we're talking less than 8 ounces some days. I upped my water intake. It did take a couple days for the constipation to resolve, but once it was resolved and I had increased my water intake, it's fine. However, I did a little more research into it, and there's actually a couple things that we can do to help. Managing our stress better, so high stress will cause the constipation. Increasing water intake. Increasing the amount of fat you're consuming. Decreasing the amount of protein you're consuming. And a really big one is taking magnesium. So it turns out from the research that I've done is the number one reason on carnivore for constipation, other than water, is low magnesium. Liv said she's changing from keto to carnivore, but has been having a lot of cravings. I did have cravings in the beginning. I dealt with them by eating fat, and I used cheese. I'd eat a square or two of cheese and then come back and reassess my craving. And 99% of the time that actually satiated me where I could get over the craving. My suggestion, because you said you're eating 3 or 4 pounds of meat in a day, and even when you're not hungry, instead of eating the meat, just go and take slices of butter and eat that. Try that, because the fat should satiate and help with those cravings versus getting the extra calories and the excess protein from eating so much meat. And something else that might be happening, if you're having 3 or 4 pounds of meat, excess protein is eventually turned into glucose in the blood. So even though you're not eating sugar and carbs, you could still be spiking your glucose, which will then take longer for your body to become fat adapted. So my suggestion is cut down the protein, increase the amount of fat, use the butter to help with the cravings. Do not worry about the salt. Our body is very, very good at dealing with salt. My biggest indicator if I've had too much salt is I become excessively thirsty. I don't think one time in the past 4.5 months I have had that happen to me. Don't rush to get to 1 meal a day. It took me weeks and weeks and weeks to go from eating 3 and 5 times a day starting this to then just 3 meals a day to 2 meals a day to now I do 1 meal a day most of the week, but some days I still eat 2 meals. If your body will adapt and do as it's supposed to, your hunger will decrease, and before you know it, you'll find yourself eating 1 meal a day again. Antonia asked, how many calories do I eat on an average day? I have no idea. I don't count literally anything. I don't worry about it. I eat until I'm satiated. I don't ever starve myself. Sometimes I eat once a day, sometimes twice a day. I eat until my body says it's satiated and I stop. I imagine some days I'm eating 800 calories and some days I'm eating 1600. It just depends on the day. Sharon asked, what do you do to get such gorgeous skin? Are you taking collagen, special vitamins? What's my routine? I do take a multivitamin. It's a Core Daily we get from Whole Foods. I have taken a multivitamin forever and I just continue to take it. So I can't say that's helped or not helped my skin. But the biggest thing that I do use other than the carnivore diet itself is I use some products by, so funny, Herbivore. I eat carnivore, but I'm herbivore to my skin. I really like their stuff. I have extremely sensitive skin, especially with the autoimmune issues, and I have no problem with any of their things. I've tried things like retinol before and my face ballooned up, so that wasn't good. They have some other stuff that I use as well, but the products are great. I do recommend them. I've also been trying a new electrolyte. I was using Keto Chow, but I didn't find that it had enough sodium. So I've been using the LMNT, and I'll let you guys know how it goes because it's kind of new to me. Yvonne asked, can I discuss any changes in my skin that I can attribute to the diet, good or bad? Absolutely. I used to have kind of like scaly buildup things on my face. Since I started doing carnivore, that's gone. I used to get a couple breakouts here and there, especially when my period came around. That's gone. I also had, I call them cholesterol bumps on my skin, like just white little raised things. Those are disappearing because the skin on my arms and stuff are looking better. And then the yeast rash, I was covered in tinea versicolor, especially as I got heavier. I treated it with over-the-counter antifungals, and that helped some, but it kept coming back. Since I've started carnivore, I have not had to use any medication. It is completely gone off my whole body. So this has been lovely. My skin's cleared up. The dark circles under my eyes have disappeared. I feel like my skin is looking a lot better than it did. I have not noticed anything bad happening with my skin. Only good. As always, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I love hearing from you. Put the comments below, as I said earlier, and I'll get to them next week. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Like a
what? Finish that sentence. I dare you.
Finish
it. A yawn has been brewing.
But I think it's really funny when we say yawn brewing. Was it percolating and did it go?
You said yawn and now I'm yawning. Chat. Lord, what is wrong with me today? Use butter to help deal with the cravings. Stop smiling at me right now. I've said that like 5 times. Butter, 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 butter.
Just gonna get the
slather yourself in butter. Okay.